Mode.
Hello, active traders, and welcome to How to Trade Winning Breakouts and Pivots with myself, Ken Calhoun, and my longtime colleague, Steve Nison from CandleCharts.com. Steve, it's great to have you here tonight.
Thank you for joining, for inviting me and doing this special webcast. It's really time and video. We'll be making this available as a video. It's really especially timely with this extreme volatility in the market. A lot of great opportunities we're going to be talking about.
Right. There's so many great charts, and now's the perfect time to be trading because we just had a historic landmark presidential election, and without getting into politics, the main thing is it moved the markets. And so having specific expert guidance on what's next and how to trade the breakouts and pivots we're about to see is especially timely. So I agree, Steve, a good timing to have us all here together with nearly 700 traders from around the world.
You're right.
All right, so as always, folks, as always, all information is for educational use only. We're not making advice about what to buy, sell, or hold by watching this. You agree not to make actual trades. We're not making any profitability or performance claims. Steve and I are going to go over a number of new strategies and tips. I'm going to go for the first 20 minutes, and then Steve will go for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back together and talk about not only the strategies you're about to learn with live market charts and more, but our stock trading success upgraded system with a new downgraded price. So stay tuned for that. We've got a lot coming up. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Ken Calhoun. You may have seen me in every month's issue of Stocks and Commodities with my Trading on Momentum column. I started that to kind of pick up the slack from where when the late great Don Bright passed on, I saw a vacuum and I thought I'd want to help traders. So you may have seen me in Stocks and Commodities with my exciting Trade Mastery Las Vegas trading seminars as a speaker for Money Show. I'll be in Money Show a week from tonight too, speaking at the Caesars Palace for the Money Show. You may have seen some of my real money trade examples. I'm a big proponent of showing real money examples of live trades. I'm not just the president of Day Trading University in the Trade Mastery. I'm also a client of using my own strategies for my own trades. So here's what we're going to look at with live charts for the next 18 minutes. What I call in versus out 2-day trades, wide range candles and cups, gap continuations, cup breakouts, and ADX entries. Let's go ahead and look at live charts as always. The biggest mistake traders make is taking stops that are too big, but only closely followed by that is trading charts that are not worth trading in the first place. And what I hope that you'll get out of the next 15 minutes or so with me is a look at not only intraday charts, but swing trading charts and the difference between the patterns that work and those that don't. Number one rule of thumb for professional trading is make sure that you only trade or primarily trade minor gap or window continuations, or charts at least that are outside of the previous day's trading range. The biggest, when I went over thousands of real money trade P&Ls for my own accounts, I found that huge percentage of my stops were ones where I started when the trade was inside the previous day's high-low range. So a quick rider downer, and you'll find the same if you go back over your trades. You'll find most of your winners are out charts, outside or above the previous day's high, preferably with a little gap up like today's SECO ran from 30 and a quarter to 34. Those are the type of charts to trade. Here's another one, SLF. You can see a minor gap continuation ran from 36 all the way up to the 38 and a quarter before pulling back and going sideways. And yet another one here, JW Nordstrom's a nice gap up continuation runner. So those are day trading charts. What I want to cover mainly tonight, though, is swing trading. Let me ask a show of hands. How many of you are, if you would humor me and Steve, and let us all know, are you mostly intraday traders? Are you swing traders? Or do you do a little bit of both? Most of what I'm going to cover is swing trading charts, with my favorite chart in the entire stock market, interactive gaming. Boom. It went from 18 to 29. Okay, looks like we have about 2/3 swing and 1/3 both day and both. Okay, thanks so far. So how many of you, okay, if those are your swing traders, how many of you are swing trading interactive gaming tech? They're the #1 manufacturer of slot machines. So if you're going to Vegas, don't play the slots, you just waste your money. But the stock is something else, and it's been skyrocketing on up to new highs. One of my biggest objections is to penny stocks or cheap junky stocks that you may have been misled about, like, cannabis plays. Well, odds are you'd buy here and get your money chopped into. So just say no to cheap, stupid penny stocks that are pop and drop one-hit wonders. Maybe eventually these may be worth trading, but for the most part, you want to trade things with consistency to make life easier for yourself as a swing trader. And if we take a look at the 3-month chart, you can see a bearish engulfment there, so we don't want to go in yet. We want to take a look at the strongest of the charts. Let me give you a quick glimpse into the type of momentum plays I like to trade. One of my favorite patterns is what I call an acceleration ramp, and I've spoken on this for Money Show for years, and in my Stocks and Commodities article. Looks like a hockey stick, a nice steady uptrend that then matures into a 45-degree angle breakout, and we buy somewhere above the new highs. That tells us, especially if you got volume confirmation, that's a good chart for a new high breakout. If you look at Citi, right, Citigroup, another good pattern. One of my favorite momentum patterns is to look for a wide range candle at the right side of a bullish cup. So this is a wide range candle and cup pattern. And again, I'm just going to be speaking for the next 13 minutes or so, and then I'll turn it over to Steve Nison. So you're with me for a few minutes. I speak for the first 20 minutes, then Steve for 20, and then us together will share the stage and give you our combined knowledge. But I just wanted to get you up to speed on my kind of charts that I like to trade. Citigroup. This is another key pattern that you can, I won't say you can bank on it 100% of the time, nothing's a sure thing, but as a professional trader, I have found that momentum candles with large green volume bars that tell us we've got good volatility and good volume in play make a lot more sense than choppier charts. Now, if you see something that's run up like this, and let's say it's pivoted off a 50 simple moving average, and it's ran up. If you do trade cheap charts, the under $10 charts, which I do not like mostly, but these kind of charts I will trade if you have a sustainable trend. Your job as a trader is to make money while losing as little as possible, right? And if you're swing trading, it's especially important. It's critically important that you trade instruments with a sustainable trend. Okay, so any of these charts that have good breakout potential make for good setups. And again, one of the keys to look for is a wide range candle at the right side of a bullish cup, and then you go long. Say I usually use 50 cents above the previous high to avoid a false breakout and get it on the continuation as it runs. Now, all of you who are candlestick traders, and you should all be candlestick traders, who can tell me name that pattern, and why is, say for example, now a really stupid time to buy? What is that candle pattern? The main question is, though, more importantly than the candle pattern recognition, and something I so much value in learning from Steve Nison and in the work that we do together for the traders around the world, is how to deploy that into trading decisions. So let me put you on the spot here real briefly. Steve, if I understand correctly from what I've learned from you, we would not want to go long, even though it's a breakout, until we take out new highs above that shooting star high, right? And you guys all got it. Thanks. Everybody who's posted. We've got posts from Melvin, Deanna, Bob, Miriam, Mukesh, Jean, Donna, Bill, Jonathan, Norman. But anyway, this is a shooting star, so you'd want to stay away from the inside range here. Okay, this is Harley Davidson. So maybe a day trade was 60 and a quarter entry, exit target 60 and a half, 61. But for a swing trade, I'd want to wait till a minimum of 61.80 because I wanted to clear that upper shadow. The main thing that you need to ask yourself is it worth trading in the first place? Here's what I call a 10% rule. You want to have the price action be a minimum of 10%. So for a $50 stock, it should have at least 5 points of range. That one does. Interactive gaming. Despite the recent bearish engulfing, this is still a really nice runner going from 23 to 29. Here's another rider downer. Never buy nines. I've been teaching traders this and publishing on this for years, because 9 looks pricey to institutional traders. And I've trained so many tens of thousands of people who got my training through my industry articles and videos and all that kind of stuff. Everybody knows to sell the 9. So sell the dang 9. Never, ever, ever swing trade by purchasing something with a 9 in it, because that will often get you into trouble because people are looking to sell the 9s. For proof, look at this chart even here, right? 1950. That was a consolidation. If you'd bought the 9, you would have got stopped out. You bought 19 again, stopped out again. Third time's a charm, but still safer to wait for it to get above the decade value. So when you're buying instruments, know to avoid the 9s because those are pricey trigger points, as we saw at both 19 and 29 here in interactive gaming. So these are things to keep you out of trouble and in on the right kind of charts. Here's yet another pattern I like, where you have a what I call baby bear, mama bear, papa bear, kind of small, medium, large with increasing volume, whole real body candles. This is worth taking a shot at up over the nearest whole number high, somewhere north of 78. The main question you need to ask yourself as a trader is, what's the risk and reward? And am I likely to make money or lose money trading a specific instrument? And one of the things I think will really help you as a trader is to identify charts that have somewhat continuous uptrends, because they're likely to keep going up. Just like human behavior, the best predictor of future behavior is what they did yesterday. And in swing trades, you want to look back over the last month or two. This is a 90-day candlestick chart, and I like seeing the patterns as things accelerate their momentum. And if our S&P breaks the 2200, which I was completely impressed with, because Steve Nison called 2200 as a top way back in 2013 when it broke out of resistance, way back somewhere in here over the 1550 or whatever it was. It was over this resistance. Steve called along here in 2013, and he said he put an exit target on the S&P of 2200, and that would have been perfect. So I'm completely impressed. That's the best call I've seen in the entire industry ever, period, in my life. So completely impressed with Steve's call, especially since he made it way back here, and he said 2200 exit target. I was thinking the market was going to drop here, but kept running on up. So anyway, using price projections as part of your trading approach is especially valuable, and the candles can help you with that navigational process. If you see a window or minor gap, that's good, but wait a few days, right? Don't ever buy. Here's another quick tip. Don't ever buy the day or two after a gap, because often they will exhaust, or as I've published, do a mean reversion. They may move up on a gap, but then reverse course to around the midpoint, the 50% mark, and then resume their uptrend. Okay, so the trigger on this would be, you do count the shadows. I would wait till this thing gets north of 25 on NCI. And again, not a buy or sell recommendation. The main thing is this worth trading? And yes, it is, just not yet. It's not ripe, but it is in play. You have a nice big high volume gap continuation run. It went into congestion the last few weeks, but it's still on the radar in case it takes out new highs. Even stronger as a chart, is this one, PFG. What you'll notice in your trades, the more experience you get as a trader, the more you understand the value of trading outlier momentum charts, where maybe for weeks it just plods along, tick-tock, 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 it nice steady grind up, which is fine if you're an investor, but we're traders, and I want action on a 2 to 3 week, maybe a month on the outside, but 2 to 3 week time horizon for a swing trade. So if you see a gradual ascension here, or an acceleration ramp, that then gets a nice 45-degree angle breakout, memorize this pattern. It's very important. We have a small followed by a large whole real body candle with an increase in volume, especially if it's a big stepwise increase like this, from down at 1.5, 2 million up to 4.5. We had a nice big momentum run. That's in play and worth taking a shot at up over new highs. Here's another one, SPR. Now, how many times have you ever seen something run up without you and say, if only I could get in a time machine, or for the fellow Doctor Who fans, a TARDIS, time and relative dimensions in space, and go back in time? Well, we can't do that, but we can trade the right side of the chart. So don't despair if you see a gap up or a momentum runner without you. Oftentimes, like Netflix and so many other charts, there's still plenty of room to run. And the way to set a exit target, by the way, I always get this question, how do you set exit targets? Usually it's 50%, well, always I should say, the default is 50% of the 90-day range. So for example, the range here is 42 to 55. Let's round up to 56. So that's a 14-point range. So a 7-point exit target up near 62 or so, maybe 63. 62 or so would be the exit target for a swing if I were to buy it somewhere north of 55.5 or 56 and get in. Illustrates another quick tip. I would wait till it gets over 56. Always have what I call a false breakout filter. Always anticipate that the moment, and we've all done this, right? It breaks resistance, so you get in, it goes against you, you get stopped out, then it runs without you, just to rub salt in the wound. Does that sound familiar? How many of you have ever done that? You buy a new high breakout, and it looked good at the time, and then, oops, not so much, and then you get stopped out. Then it runs, 8 points without you. Really frustrating if you're on the wrong side of that. And sometimes you can feel helpless with that kind of a pattern. What I found over thousands of real money trades over the years is set at least 50 cents above the high before you get in. So I expect that it may go 55.50. Newbies will get pulled in at 55.80 or 55.70. It'll drop to 54 and then run to 62. So I wait till 50 cents above the high. So somewhere over 56 would be where I'd get in this chart. Okay, and I've got 5 minutes left, so we're winding down. What I hope that this brief introduction will do is familiarize you with the types of charts that are good for momentum swing trading. And we cover much more on how to scan for these and how to find these. And you get ongoing support for me in the upcoming educational resource, the Stock Trading Success downloadable video system that Steve and I will be telling you about later in tonight's broadcast. But I wanted to kind of whet your appetite to familiarize you with the type of charts that are actually worth trading. So if you do trade cheap charts, you know, like this one, or where's the other one, CLD, they should have a nice sustainable trend, right? Get on a roller coaster that keeps running up, kind of like a rail. Make sure that you're getting on something that has uncrossed moving average lines is another good institutional tip. A 50, I use the 50, the 100, and the 200 simple moving averages. Uncrossed moving average lines above that make for a really good breakout continuation. So if you're trying to choose between one chart and the other, give preference to one that has uncrossed moving average lines and an uptrend continuation. Again, there's no magic indicator for that. It's called your brain. The best proprietary indicator is the one between your own two ears. You know, you want to think about these things and develop trading plans that put successful trades in, you know, in your trading account. So the way that I do that is I will look for clues of momentum, of institutional buying coming in. For example, small followed by medium followed by large whole row bodies. And yeah, we're dojing out up here. They don't know what they want to do today, but that doesn't deter me. I'll still get in. Who can tell me? If we wait till 50 cents above the high, where's our long trigger in ZAYO? I have no idea what this company is. I'm a trader. I trade sectors like oil and gold and whatnot, but sorry about that. But I do not, I'm a popular guy. What can I say? The phone rings off the hook. I usually remember to turn that off before webinar. Anyway, so yeah, 34.50. Because we anticipate it's going to fool around with us and go against us if we get in long at 34.20 or 34.30. Then it'll pull back down to 33. Then run to 38 without us. So having been down that path several thousand times, you learn. I learned the hard way. I've made every mistake in the book and then some. Anyway, this is a constellation breakout pattern that I've taught traders for years to look at with candles. Small, medium, large. Baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. And little baby bear went wee, wee, wee all the way to the market. We stay away from it, but we have a momentum progression on increasing volume. So that's, you know, that's got heat, that's got energy and momentum. So yeah, I want to play with it up here if it breaks out to new highs. In the meantime, while they're undecided on the sidelines with the doji, I'm out, I'm cash. Here we got a shooting star in the upper right corners. We had many candles today were shooting stars on the S&P going flat, right? We had a flat day, a doji day in the S&P, up, down, they don't know what they want to do today. Okay, what we want to do though is develop a sense of certainty for breakouts that actually work. So one of the things I encourage you to do is, number one takeaway is make sure that you are trading sustainable trending instruments and then sell the nines, right? Now we've got a bearish engulfing up here, so we don't go long now. Now would be a good time to sell. I'll get back on board if it breaks over 30, you know, next week or next month or whatnot. But in the meantime, stick a fork in it. Maybe it'll drop back down to 22. So another quick risk management tip, by the way, is sell a loss of 2 red candles. If you see 2 red candles, any loss of 2 sequential days, if you're using a, say, 15-day chart, you know, you're going to see these chop zones. If you have a sequential loss of 2 days, that would have got us out today. One, or actually, the exit would have been up here. That's previous day, that's, or I should say that's 2 days ago, that's yesterday, this is today. A loss of 2 days in a row means the trend has been broken. So stick a fork in it, it is done. And for the last chart, and again, the main point is learn how to trade the strongest patterns. And when you're looking for gap continuations, right, which are my favorite for intraday, these type of charts, SLF. These are also especially valuable for swing trades, right? And see the swing trade chart, look at that. Got nice big momentum. Now we anticipate a pullback or reversal or resting day tomorrow, so I likely wouldn't engage with this long until next week sometime, over say 34.50. But it's in play. It's got an increasing 4-day volume with 4-day price action in a row. Spectacular charts like this is part of what you'll learn in our educational course that we've got that we're going to bring to your attention. Before I turn it over to Steve Nison, let me wrap up with one final example, and that's the average directional index. I usually avoid squiggly line derived indicators, but this one I'll make the exception for because it works so spectacularly well. It goes a little something like this. What you wait for is an ADX to come from below, kind of like Jaws in the ocean. Bump, 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 bump. Ah, it's over 40. Once it breaks over 40, that's a signal day. Okay, once ADX pierces the 40, either as a result of a gap or a breakout. This one was a gap, and you just set a trigger point, a long trigger at 50 cents. Again, that 50 cents is a good filter for false breakouts above the high. So you get in on the breakout here, and it's off to the races. So ADX, once it breaks the 40, you wait for the day after, up to a week or so after, 4 to 5 trading sessions after, set a buy stop order 50 cents above the high of the day in which that ADX over 40 was triggered. So that way you don't miss out on it, but it does get you in on good continuation plays. So anyway, with that, let me turn it over to my very long time of 15 years now colleague, the one, the only legendary Candlestick Pro, the only guy you need to learn candlesticks from, and should, because I've watched the other guys and they make all these mistakes, but Steve Nison is the world's top expert in candlestick patterns. So let us turn it over to Steve Nison. Hey, Steve, great to have you here. And I hope that that's given you all a quick introduction. Now it's okay. All right.
Thanks, Ken. It's great joining you as always. I can't believe it's been 15 years, so it means we're getting younger, right?
Right, yeah. Sounds good.
In fact, my insurance company now sends me my yearly calendar one month at a time. That's how old I'm getting.
Good planning. That's good.
So I just wanted to show you the slide. Ken was nice enough to give me a very laudatory background, but I got this from Scott a while ago, and I just like the way he said it. Everyone that teaches candlesticks quotes the master, so why not go to the master? So this is why Ken invited me to join him on this special educational package we have, because I am the expert on candlesticks, and I have some knowledge about Western technicals as well, because combining candles with Western technicals is vitally important. As Ken mentioned before, for example, that's how I got my price target of 2,200 in the S&P, by using Western price targets. But Ken is a true expert in Western technicals. You heard him just discussing one of the great strategies, and he's also the expert on intraday trading. So it's a real synergy. It's an overused word, but it's a great combination of Ken's insights and years of real-world trading, and my background also in not only trading but revealing the nuances with candlesticks. And there are a lot of nuances. Ken, for example, talked about the shooting star, and it's not only the candlestick signal that you'll learn about, but how to use them. Some shooting stars you would not want to go short on, like the one Ken showed you before, because it made a new high close for the move, but others you may want to short on if it's confirming a resistance area. So what true education depends on for successful trading is not only correctly recognizing the candlestick signal. As Ken mentioned, there's a lot of bad information about some made-up candlestick signals, but just as importantly, how to implement the candlestick signals into your trading strategy. So one of the things that I worked on with Ken is focusing on intraday candle signals. So if we go to the next slide, Ken, and in our resource that Ken will be talking about, these are some of the strategies that I discuss in great detail about using intraday candlestick charts. And keep in mind that, as shown in the title here, these strategies could be used for not only day trading but for swing trading. So some of the bullet points: getting early reversal signals in an intraday, and this is especially useful for those who do swing trading. Finding hidden support and resistance areas on intraday charts you may not find in a daily chart. Sometimes the market may look overextended, but if you use an intraday chart, it's really not. And by overextended, I mean it rallied too much, too quickly, becomes vulnerable to correction, or it sells off too quickly, and becomes susceptible to a bounce back. And secrets to using using daily charts. And this is something that intraday traders don't think about. You should actually also incorporate daily charts to help improve profits and lessen risk for intraday trading. So let me just show you a couple of examples of these. So if we go to the next slide, we'll look at using intraday for early reversals. So here on this daily chart, we have a classic hammer, very long lower shadow, twice the height of the real body. And this is a really nice hammer because it has a white real body. The hammer could have a black or white real body, but a white real body has a little bit more emphasis because it's closing near or at the high of the session. So here, we got a reversal signal because, unfortunately, one of the limitations of candlesticks is you have to wait for a close because you need open, high, low, and close. So if you're using just a daily chart, we got a bottom reversal signal a little above $53. However, by shifting to an intraday, and in this case I think it's a 60-minute chart, we also had a hammer, and as I just mentioned, the hammer can be a black or white real body. There's a black real body. And because all we need to do is wait for a close on an intraday chart, it means rather than waiting for a close of the day, we use the close of that intraday period. So on the 60-minute period, as soon as it closed on that 60-minute period, we had a bullish hammer. And one of the good things you can do with a hammer is use a protective stop under the low of the hammer. So if we took advantage of this hammer, we would have been buying at $4 lower rather than waiting for the close of the session. So what is that, about 10%? About $4 on a $50 stock. So a little under 10% extra profit by using an intraday chart. So this is just one example of why those who normally will only look at a daily chart, i.e. swing trading, can get some great timing signals on an intraday. So let's go to the next one and look at an example of this again. Okay, now in this case, there are no candle reversal signals near the low here, right around the 667 area. And by the way, not many of us trade Google outright, so you could use this for options as well. So there's no reversal signals here. But let's look at what happened on that day, the blue arrow on the left, on an intraday chart. In this case, it's a 30-minute chart. So here we had a hammer, in the first blue arrow, a bullish engulfing pattern. That bullish engulfing pattern that Ken is highlighting is confirming a support area in the hammer. So although we don't get a clear clue on the daily chart of a key support area, we certainly get that on the intraday chart. And so now we have a plethora of signals, kind of hidden support that you don't have on the daily chart, and this could give you a great opportunity to think about buying, again with a protective stop, in this case 665, and you can see on the chart on the left we had a nice rally, looks like at least to 720, maybe a little bit higher. I probably would have taken profits on the doji right over there. Yeah, I would have taken profits over there, so nice potential profit. What is it, about 670 to about 720, $50 profit on signals you've got with an intraday that you didn't see on a daily chart. And just very quickly, the same thing in Amazon in the next slide, just to give you a sense of how easy it is to use. Okay, no real bottom reversal signals, but a group of candlestick signals right near the lows on in Amazon. And so here, most of us will be buying, but what's great about intraday, it's just as easy to short. So let's look at the next slide. And we could see we had on the daily chart, a gap down. Okay, Ken had mentioned, falling windows or rising windows. In this case, it's a falling window. So we could have gotten the signal there. And this was pre-split, obviously, in Apple. But look what happened before the falling window based on the intraday chart. We got back-to-back bearish engulfing patterns. So yes, you could have waited for the falling window, so you would have thought about shorting or getting out of longs. Look, these strategies are not only for making money, but protecting your assets. Okay, so if we did it on the daily chart, we had the falling window, so we would have gotten out at 695 or gone short at 695. But if we looked at the intraday chart with those back-to-back bearish engulfing patterns, we would have picked up another $10 because we got the bearish signals right around the 705 level. And let's look at something fairly recently. Okay, speaking of selling short. So here is a very rare pattern called the abandoned baby top. And I don't remember the last time I saw this, but a classic abandoned baby top is when you have a gap up. So we had a shooting star, but if you look the day before, between the shooting star and the prior day, it's a rising window. And then you gap down. Now, it's hard to see there, but there is actually a tiny window. And the perfect abandoned baby is actually a doji. So you have a gap up, a doji, and a gap down. And that shooting star is close enough to being a doji that I really call this an abandoned baby. And the reason the Japanese call it abandoned baby is because supposedly the mother abandons the baby, then goes back to get the baby, then changes her mind. It's
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, yeah.
So but colorful language, but it's memorable.
So yeah, the candle's a great colorful language. So to me, that is a major, major resistance area. And in fact, I personally lightened up a little bit on my portfolio because of that. You know, Ken had mentioned he looked at momentum, and actually for my investments, I actually rather do a momentum trade, so or an investment. So I'd rather have a break above resistance. Obviously, the market has bounced back very, very nicely, you know, since the big sell-off that I show here. But the point is that the abandoned baby confirmed a resistance area, and it in and of itself became resistance. So, you know, looking at the daily chart, that's fine. You know, we got a negative signal. But let's go on the daily, the intraday chart on the time we had the shooting star, the abandoned baby. Okay, so in that red arrow, that's when we have, sorry, the red box is when we had the abandoned baby. That was August 23rd. And on the intraday chart, okay, the day that we made the shooting star, the middle part of the abandoned baby, we had what's called the bear harami. And that's in the red rectangle where you have a tall white real body, the bulls are in charge, and then you have a small real body, black or white, 25% or less than the white real body. It's not an overtly bearish signal like a shooting star, but it is a sign the bear is losing steam. And this took up extra consequence because if we go to the left, we could see that blue horizontal line was a resistance area set by a bearish engulfing pattern. Okay, and a couple of sessions later, actually I didn't highlight this in blue, but we had a dark cloud cover with that black candle getting deeply into the prior white candle. So in and of itself, a bear harami isn't that much of a reversal signal, but when it confirms a resistance area, it becomes much more potent. And as I mentioned before, this is the secret to getting the correct education. Yes, many traders will recognize this as a bear harami, but what do you do with it? At times, maybe you use that to lighten up on longs. Other times you ignore it. Or in this time, it's a great time to lighten up on longs or actually take a short position. In this case, I would take a short position because it's such a clean-cut stop-out area, and you have such a group of candlestick signals really emerging right at the same area. So very, very easy to add the potent insights of intraday to your daily chart. Now, one of the other things that I really like, and this is one of the ways that I personally find what I call hidden support or resistance areas that are not evident on daily charts, and there's a great strategy you all can use immediately. So if we go to the next slide, okay, here we have a really tall white real body. The market opened near the low and closed near the high, very strong. But the challenge becomes, where is our first support area? Now, obviously, we could all agree it's right around $78, right? The multi-tested low is there. But that doesn't do us any good, you know, if we're thinking about buying it, because if you're buying it near 83 and your target is 84 and your risk is 78, you know, as Ken mentioned before, risk reward, very, very important. You know, money management is one of my key criteria, and that's something I really focus on in all my education, including that with Ken. But here, obviously, it's a bad risk reward if you're thinking about buying it. And I wouldn't short it here either because of that tall white candle. So how can we find potentially a support area on any corrections? Well, what we could do is, this is April 15th on that tall white real body. You can shift into an intraday chart, and we'll show that in the next slide. And I normally will not look less than 15 minutes. I'll look at 15, 30, or 60 minutes. So here is an intraday chart, all right, on April 15th. And notice the support area, multi-tested support, right around a little under 82. So then what we could do is shift that over onto our daily chart. Now we know 82 as our support area. So if we go to the next slide, look what happened. The market pulled back, got to 82, and rallied from there. So the point is, without the perspective, without the secret insights of the intraday, there's no way we could have forecasted a support area near 82. But thanks to the magic of intraday candles and intraday strategies, we had a support zone. That's why I call it a hidden support zone. And the same thing on our next slide. Okay, nice long lower shadow, small real body. I would view this as, I don't know if I'd call it a classic hammer. The upper shadow is too long, but that long lower shadow is confirming support right around 22. That means every time the market got down there, it bounced strongly. So the problem is, something like this. Where is first support? So we could look at an intraday chart, and one of the Western strategies I like using is what I call change of polarity, where you have a multi-tested resistance area. Once the market breaks above that resistance, if the bulls are in control, that resistance becomes support. So that becomes your protective stop out level. So based on the change of polarity, we had a support area right around 2340, and that's almost exactly where the market held on the correction before really taking off. So once again, an example of using the hidden support or resistance areas based on intraday charts, and that's why I wanted to team up with Ken, who is a true intraday trading expert. And let's go to the next one. Many of us want to trade the short side of the market, and one good way to do it is obviously with options, but then they have to worry about time value decay and which option do you pick and all stuff like that. But a very easy way to play the short side is using inverse ETFs. So many of you are familiar with these, but essentially as the market goes down, an inverse ETF can increase in value. And you could have multiple ones. You could have 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, So if we go to the next slide, okay, here we have an intraday chart. So remember, as the Dow sold off, this was back a little while ago, but if you want to take advantage of a bear move in the Dow or the S&P, you'd use an inverse ETF. So what that means, as the Dow sold off, this inverse of the Dow rallied, the ETF rallied. And you can see the bullish engulfing pattern, okay, confirming a support area. So a great buying opportunity, once again, with a protective stop under the low of the bullish engulfing pattern. So these are just very, very few examples of those strategies that I showed you in the first slide about all the different benefits, all the different techniques you learn with our educational package.
All right. Well, great job, Steve. I wanted to say thanks. And all of you can see the evidence and you can see the validity. That's one thing I like working with Steve so much, is because it's much more with Steve than just recognizing the candle patterns. It's how to actually deploy support, resistance, and other momentum-based trading decisions, on the patterns themselves and how to make that work. So thanks so much for that. That was good. Really good insights. Good examples, too. And I hope that y'all were taking notes. I was taking mental notes because I like to see the difference between what works and what doesn't, because it's incredibly frustrating when you miss it by that much. Kind of like Get Smart, missed it by that much over and over again, and you get into this negative cycle of small wins and bigger stops. What you want to do is start trading more effectively. So Steve and I have got something really exciting here for you tonight. One of the things that I would say is we've covered a lot of territory tonight, and you've got some awareness, information, opportunity you didn't have, just 35, 40 minutes ago, but there's still challenges, and there's 2 of them. One of them is you're not going to remember all of what we covered. We went through a lot of information fairly quickly. If you're like me, 2 days from now, you barely forget that you even went to the webinar, and a week from now, if you didn't take notes, you're going to completely forget everything. And so the other challenge is that, the trouble with general information, even with specific examples, is that it doesn't help you implement unless you have tools. And that's what we're going to cover tonight, is share with you the tool set and the trading system that can really help you implement what Steve and I have started alluding to in tonight's event. Here's a neat cartoon that we had made up. And thanks, Steve, for the idea of this. Your profits can go higher with two pulling for you. And join us to unlock what we call new stock trading success tactics, kind of 1 + 1 = 3. The three of us working together, and we're here to help you guys. So let's see what we're going to move on to. Before we cover the system, just briefly, this is the established credibility part. Steve's clients have included everyone from the Federal Reserve to the World Bank to NASDAQ to JP Morgan. He was the best real money P&L caller of 17, so he's the real deal too. I'm the real deal. I did 16 grand on 4 million of trades a few years back, and I do know how to make real money trades, and I have done so repeatedly. So one of the things that I want to urge you to do is take really small stops. And that's one of the things we cover in the stock trading success system, is how to use sectors and how to trade with the very best of the charts out there. So before we get into a quick overview of the system, I think the best thing we can tell you is what Stocks and Commodities said. Unlike any other system in the entire trading industry, all right, this one stands alone as the only one that Stocks and Commodities said you will certainly have gained enough knowledge to trade for a living. And that's high praise from the very knowledgeable experts at Stocks and Commodities. Steve, any quick thoughts on this? Because I know we used to have this as a regular DVD system. Now it's like 30% off for the download version, but I was really pleased to see the the comments from the Stocks and Commodities team saying that you'll have gained enough knowledge to trade for a living. They haven't said that. I haven't not seen them say that good praise for any other trading system in the entire industry. Not only that, but all the 100+ testimonials of traders that, so it's not just Steve and I telling you about a system that can really make a significant impact in your own trading, but industry experts and over 100 traders. So Steve, any thoughts on that? Because that's still something I'm really proud to have worked with you on. That's kind of lifetime achievement for me, is working with you and having Stocks and Commodities say this is good enough to have enough knowledge to trade for a living. That alone is the reason enough to buy it, right? If you just had that, if all I showed you was this, that would be enough to sell it. But I want to get you a lot more information. But any thoughts, Steve, on that?
Yeah, one of the things, and I think we've discussed this before, because we had these great we still have wonderful testimonials, but because of who handles it, the FTC or whatever it is, they can't give dollar amounts. You can't put dollar amounts in there anymore. Right. So we used to have all these, a lot of these testimonials. They're still glowing, but they gave you specific dollar amounts they made. So it's unfortunate we can't have that anymore. But you could see the dozens and dozens of testimonials, the excitement, the ability to really help change lives on this great website that Ken did. Very easy to go through it and kind of get a feel for how much this really means to real people.
Yeah, because, it's one thing if we tell you about a system, but, first of all, what the heck are we talking about? What this is a 14 DVD system that now is a downloadable version. So we've got the complete DVDs in high resolution download where you can download segments. And one thing Steve mentioned, which I thought was worth highlighting, is that we get over something like 15 or 17 hours. I think the total is over 17 hours of content. That can be overwhelming at first. So what I did, it took forever, but we carefully edited this for you guys so you get bite-sized chunks as sector charts, flow charts, improvement strategies, trader hot seats where traders came up at the live seminar and asked us about their toughest questions, and we helped solve that. You make the call, trading the open, volume breakouts, all these downloadable parts of DVDs that you can instantly refer to. So that's part of the system. And then we have bonus DVDs as well. So it's a downloadable system plus, of course, we've got complete follow-up webinars. We've got PDFs that are included and much more. But I think one of the things, let me ask all of you for the first time tonight, let me ask you, how many of you have a specific trading plan or some thoughts to how to trade after the election? Because one of the things I think can really help is if you, for example, you should have a plan, and I will teach you how to do this, for the difference between, let's say, trading sectors like gold. See, gold is down. If you look at, say, GDX and some of the gold miners, they're down. So Stephen alluded to the inverse ETFs, and I've traded those for years. Those are things that go up when instruments go down. So dust is the inverse gold instrument, or oil, or crude, or banking, right? I gave you the example of how strong Citigroup was. Post-election, you need to have a game plan for trading these types of instruments. And one of the things that we cover in Stock Trading Success is very detailed step-by-step strategies designed to help you make a difference. So Steve had talked about all these, and then a lot of video testimonials. These are more testimonials than I've seen for any other system in the entire trading industry. And that's to this day. We have over 100 testimonials, including video. No one else in the industry has that many. And we've got all kinds of Q&A and FAQs. And one thing, let me see, before I cover the support that we provide, including webinars with me for a year and a half from now, so we don't leave you hanging, but in addition to all of the support resources that we have, Steve's also going to include a couple of bonuses, and we got other additional bonuses. But Steve, could you tell them about these 2 bonuses we've got coming up as well?
Sure. Yeah, one of the things that people, I talked about how, recently in the market, I just became a little bit more defensive because of the abandoned baby. And one of the things that people ask me about is, hey, Steve, how can I get your opinion about my specific market? What would you do here? Why? Any particular signals? Do you have any price targets? Any major support or resistance? So as a special bonus, I'm going to be analyzing any market of your choice in a special by invitation only webcast where I'll be doing it in real time, and I'll also be making a recording so you can watch it at your convenience. But the strategies I'll be giving you can be used to place a trade or do something with the current market if you're thinking about trading, or if you have a position on what to do with that position, that you can implement the very next trading session. And also you'll be getting what I call my Nison trading principle. And this is based on my 30-plus years of real-world trading, 15 or maybe 16 core trading principles that I apply in all my trading, and I have found to work time and time again. Very easy to use. This is something you could print out, have at your trading desk, and just take notes like it shows here. It's an information-packed hour, and you could just take notes on this, and you could have a little crib sheet by your desk, by your trading desk, to implement the same trading strategy or trading principles that I've used for my career.
All right, and that's good. So bring your questions for Steve. And also, one of the things I wanted to mention as a key takeaway is with me, you get me every other month, roughly every 7 to 8 weeks, every other month or so, no farther apart than 8 weeks. We get together for an hour, all of the system owners, and you get that access with me for a year and a half. And there's no monthly charges. This is a one-time. It's only I think it's $6.95 now. So for years we sold the system up at $14.95 and $12.95 when it was a physical DVD package. But thanks to the miracles of modern technology and customer demand, people aren't real fond of shiny silver discs much anymore. So instead, we turn it into a downloadable course. So you can download high-res WMV videos and keep them forever. And you can copy those to your tablets, your Kindles, your laptops, your phone, or whatever you want. And you can watch it on the go as well. But the main thing is for a year and a half, and here's just the schedule, through next year. We've got all kinds of strategy sessions that are included. So we don't just leave you hanging with, you buy it and wham, bam, thank you, you're out. Instead, I stick around for a year and a half and answer your questions. A lot of times we get really spirited Q&A sessions going. It's really exciting to see all the involvement and the questions about specific trades and charts. And, hey, Ken, what's this chart doing? Where's an entry trigger I should use and the rest of it. So you get that for a year and a half with me. In addition to the system, and there's no monthly fee, so it's you get like a year and a half of access, but without any monthly fee. So that's all included. Another thing that I thought I would do to help y'all is, how many times have you ever gotten a new TV and it gives you a quick start guide? Well, Ready, Set, Trade. One of the things that I do, and it's also you get downloadable versions of the last couple ones I did too. Once you join as a member, I did one in April of this year, and then last October, you'll get one in addition coming up this December 5th. And also, too, for any of the Q&A sessions that I'll be doing for you as live webinars, you can send in your questions ahead of time, and I'll answer them and record the answers on video for you. So it's an outstanding level of service, unparalleled in the trading industry, especially without any monthly fees that's included with your system purchase. And it should, I know normally guys who offer big systems like this price them up around $2,000. $19.97 seems to be a really popular price point, and this would well be worth it because, don't just take our word for it. Look at stocks and commodities. They said, you can look in the review if you want. You can click on that, but you'll have gained enough knowledge to trade for a living. And look what 100 of your fellow traders, over 100 traders said. So, we put a lot of work and thought into making this the definitive stock trading, both intraday and swing trading synergy, as Steve said, between his signals and mine, and putting our heads together, to use intraday charts for both swing and day trading. So no matter what type of trader you are for stocks or ETFs, we've got you covered with lots of support coming up as well. So this support session will get you started with not only a blueprint, but how to take action, a trading plan, advanced tips, Q&A, and the rest of it. And there's even more bonuses we'll cover in a second. But Steve, let me tell y'all too, be sure to click here and see the video previews. There's so much video. We broke this into 2 different pages. So if you want previews of the 14 DVDs in the system, give the page a minute to load, and you will see video previews. How many of you have ever bought a trading system sight unseen and been disappointed? Well, we have so many hundreds of traders who bought this. Steve, any thoughts on the video previews? Because I think it's a really good way for traders to get a, kind of like when you go to Costco and get a sample of something before you buy the big case of it. It's always, I think it's very good ethics and from an integrity standpoint to show you the quality and professionalism of the training that you'll be getting with nice, generous, video previews of all the DVD downloadable videos that you'll be getting. But Steve, any thoughts on that, on the previews?
Yep. And actually, as you're flipping through these, it reminds me of one of the most popular features. What was it called? Hot seats?
Right.
The hot seat. So you want to tell them what that's about, Ken? And then I'll detail a little bit more about the video clips, because the gentleman sitting there in DVD 6, I think he was in the hot seat. Can you go through that?
Yeah, sure. It's something you've never seen anywhere in the entire trading industry. And I got this actually from a different industry. I've got a background as a corporate Fortune 500 quality management guy. I used to work for Ford Motor Company at Rockwell and McDonnell Douglas in quality management. One of the things that we did in leadership and management development, corporate training, was these hot seats. And I thought it'd be great for traders. And boy, was it. It was one of the highlights of the session. You have traders come up and say, hey, for example, I can't figure out for the life of me where to set my entries. Can you give me some tips on where to get into a breakout chart or pivot chart? Because I'm not real clear on how that all works. And so we would ask the traders at the live event to give us their thoughts and their feedback. And then Steve and I would jump in and add our own thoughts. And it became a really good teamwork effort for hot seats for solving problems that traders have, like how to scan, how to set entries and exits, how to avoid big stop losses. And that's all included in that video as well. But yeah, it's a good point, Steve. Yeah, it was really popular.
Yep, and another popular feature was the real-time analysis, where the traders would ask us to look at a market in real time, and we'd analyze it in real time. So, so here again, I forgot so many great aspects, so many strategies that we had here, and that's one of the major benefits about these little video clips. You can get an actual feel for the types of solid, immediately applicable education that you're going to be able to apply. And yes, as Ken mentioned, there's a lot of information. It's 14 DVDs, but you may just want to go to the hot seat section, or you just may want to go to the section where I talk about, candles and Western signals. So it's very digestible, and you can view it as a library. It's like, I guess, kind of like an encyclopedia. You may look at a specific topic one time, and then knowing that other topics are there for you to reference whenever you want. Or you can sit over the weekend and watch the whole thing in little bite-sized pieces. So here again, not only do you have the video clips, but Ken was nice enough to give a little written description about each section as well. So it's a real solid way to get, you know exactly what you're getting.
Right. And that's that we wanted to make this the definitive course, and it is. It's, to this day, it's the bestseller for stock trading. And one of the reasons is because we have all these bite-sized chunks that you can download and watch at your convenience. If you're like me, you skim and scan through videos. I'm not real patient. I'm a day trader in a fast-paced swing trader. So occupational hazard, I do not like to sit and watch stuff for an hour or so. I like to jump around, and so you can download all the different video clips and then click to your heart's content and get great professional grade trading strategies that are proven, that have had such a resounding successful industry review, not only from all of the 100+ traders who wrote in and gave us video testimonials and all the rest of it that you're welcome to look at, but also the trading industry's top trading magazine as well gave it a glowing review saying it's enough to trade for a living. So we put our heart and soul into this thing, and all for the low price of just, drum roll please, sound effect please, it's only just $6.95. So that's half of what we used to charge for it, and that's for the download only version. If you want physical DVDs, it's a lot more expensive. It's like $14.95. If you want, we could have those, made and shipped for you. We use the Amazon Create Space for that, but it's much easier to just save half off and just get the entire system for just $6.95. Now, go ahead, Steve. Yeah, the value is phenomenal. It's right there. I mean, we used to sell this all day long at $12.95. $14.95 was the regular retail for years, and now it's just $6.95 for the download version, plus all these bonuses that you're getting. You also get 2 months of daily stock alerts from my chart scans, and you get 2 months of weekly stock webinars every Saturday for 2 months, plus alerts from me and my swing scans service. And if you're already a member of either of those, I'll give you the credit equivalent towards any of my other downloadable courses. So if you're already a Swing Scans members, I'll give you $200 worth of credit towards my other courses. Or if you're a Chart Scans members, $100. So you get that too. But it's it's a phenomenal deal, and there's no monthly charges. And you're learning from the world's top candlestick expert, Steve Nison, who's a brilliant guy. I mean, 2200, really, 3 years ago, and he called the exact top of the market. That's, who else in the world could do that? And I am a rock star when it comes to intraday. And we put our heads together and trained hundreds of traders in how this all works. Plus, give you all the videos that you need to start implementing immediately. All the different things that you need as a professional trader, we give you in Stock Trading Success. So really pleased and proud to be working with Steve Nison on this. But Steve, any other thoughts? I know we're going to wrap up in a couple minutes. Any questions people ask? I'll stick around a few minutes. Here's a quick tip. When you go to this video previews page, and let me give you all the link for that. You can click to get to it on the Stock Trading Success site, but let me give you the direct link here as well so you can follow along at home. Remember to click on this because it tells you, it's kind of, to keep the page from being 3,000 pages long, we wanted to kind of really kind of cool. You can click and you can see exactly what it's about and unclick. It's for those of you who have ADD, have at it. Anyway, but it's great. You can see what the heck each of the videos is all about, plus how it can help you improve your trading. So it's a really good professional developed system that's been one of the industry's most popular and best received. So, but Steve, any other thoughts? Because yeah, this is a great system. Yeah, I'm proud. Yeah, it's good to be working with you on it.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the beginning, this is a great time in the markets with the extreme volatility. When you're trading, whether it's intraday or swing trading, but especially intraday, you want that volatility to be able to buy and sell in these swings. And with all this movement, this is a great time. My feeling is every day you delay in getting and taking advantage of the education, it's potential an opportunity cost. Money potentially lost by not being able to apply these strategies, and also money potentially saved, by having the correct education. It really, look, I tell our people there's two ways to lose, to spend money. One, you do it on education, or two, you give it to the market. And education is a lot cheaper. Yeah. So now's a great time to take advantage of this.
Absolutely. It's something I tell traders and their faces fall whenever I speak at the money shows in New York or Vegas or wherever I'm at. And I say, you have no business trading with live capital till you're at least making a lot of money in demo account or sim trading or paper trading. And that's true. It's much smarter to, $6.95, that's like the cost of, I've had stop losses bigger than that. I'm not pleased to admit, but in my early days, I'm one of the original .com day traders. I'd have stops that were bigger than the $6.95. You may have had a couple, 3 stops added up that are $6.95 for the price of a cost of a stop loss or two. You can get 17 hours of training from, two sharp guys that, have the industry cred to get there. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the the bonus stack here, and that is just briefly because we're going to wrap soon. So what you get, let's summarize. You get over 32 full hours of professional training. So the course is 17 hours of downloadable videos that you get to keep forever. So you don't have to worry about streaming it or using up bandwidth or whatnot. You can download it off of our server and keep the downloadable videos forever. They're yours. You also get 9 hours of follow-up webinars, at least a year and a half. Some traders I let stay around a couple, 3 years, but at least 18 months of every other month webinars with me. And those are evening webinars, 1 hour every 8 weeks to bring your questions and get answers. I also give you swing scans, 2-month access. All the bonus training from Steve is over 2 hours. So you get over 32 hours in bite-sized chunks. So like Steve said, it's not a huge 32-hour long thing. It's like going to a seminar, but being able to do it on your terms in a way that makes sense for you personally. So you don't have to come to a 2 or 3 day seminar and take that big chunk of time out of your life. Instead, we deliver this to you in bite-sized chunks that you can download and watch at your convenience. Here's the obligatory value stack, as they call it, as my consultant would say. You got the system, which for years was $14.95. You got Steve's roundtable, his Nison trading principles video, my chart scans, swing scans, $22.61 retail, and it's only $6.95 right now. So together we've helped thousands of active traders as a team. It's your turn, and we'd like to see you as a member. What I want you to do is, like I say, who else in the entire trading industry have stocks and commodities? And they're smart. They know their stuff. They've seen it all, right? It's always trust people who are industry leaders. You'll certainly gain enough knowledge to trade for a living. I have not seen that for any other system in the entire industry, and I'm deeply grateful to the team at Stocks and Commodities, and especially to Steve Nison for working together to create such a stunning, incredibly useful system for everybody. So StockTradingSuccess.com. Really good opportunity to pick up new strategies. We do have it on sale only for the next 10 days, okay? We're taking it off the market on the 20th, and the price will go up on the 21st. So you've gotten a week from Sunday, basically. You got a week from Sunday to take action on that. So Sunday, November 20th, may want to sleep on it or not. I see orders can come in, but I think it's a really good opportunity. And one thing I would ask you to do, if nothing else in your life as a trader, read the heartfelt comments from over 100 people and see if anyone else, in contrast, even comes close. And that's why I'm so pleased to work with Steve Nison, because he's a genuine expert, a world authority. I've worked really hard to become a top authority for especially breakout trades, right? That's my forte, is breakout swing trades and intraday trades. And as you look for opportunities, read what these people say. They're our voice. We can tell you, and us saying it is one thing because it's our baby, but all of the the world's traders and the top industry resource saying it's enough to trade for a living off of, that's where it really hits the road and it really makes a meaningful impact in traders' lives, plus all the follow-up support you get and more from all of us. So anyway, and you can even click this cool little thing and it'll zoom all the way back to the top, which is kind of fun. So anyway, that's your site. I'd encourage you to place your order, maybe give it some thought, but you have our word. It's an outstanding system. I'm very proud. It's a life's work and a lifetime achievement kind of award. If I were to give one to my the industry colleagues, that this would be it, Stock Trading Success. So Steve, any last thoughts before we wrap up? Because I think we've covered what the system's all about and how it can help the world's traders, and certainly pleased to be working with you for so many years to bring this, plus updates to the trading community, which I do for everybody so that they can ask their questions and get supported, in addition to getting all the foundation training and these 17 hours of resources they'll be getting to download, within, the only thing I ask is these are so popular, give me 24 hours to get your individual login and password emailed to you. It'll be your first name, last initial, and then there'll be some random password. And so give me 24 hours to get that to you. It doesn't come immediately because we have so many people that order this whenever we launch it. It takes a little while to catch up with all the demand and all that. So your patience is appreciated. But Steve, any other thoughts on this? Because I'm really pleased to be bringing this to the community. It's a system that works, and so I'm glad to have produced it with you. I think that's it. Let me know, Steve, if any other thoughts. If not, I think we're going to wrap. Looks like Steve's.
Yep. Oh, sorry. I forgot to put my mic on. Sorry.
Oh,
You
no,
mentioned before. Yeah, yeah. You had mentioned before about losing more in protective stop. I think you said 695 than the cost of the education, and that brings to mind return on investment. That's what it's all about. Will you make multiple times your investment in opportunity found that you wouldn't have found before, or losses avoided that you wouldn't, losses avoided. So the way I always look at something and the way to analyze it, kind of like risk reward in doing a trade, it's return on investment in your educational progress.
Yeah, good point. And it's good stuff. And thanks to everybody for asking. And yes, we have recorded this. We will be getting the recording out to everybody. There will be, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on YouTube, and the replay will be here at the top of Stock Trading Success. I will also, though, as a thank you for all of you for registering for the event, also in the follow-up email that GoToWebinar will send to you within 24 hours, you'll get a high-resolution download link of a WMV video of tonight's recording that'll be on my Amazon S3 server in a private location. So you will get the downloadable video replay of tonight's event, as well as Steve Nison and myself. So with that, I think we are about ready to close up. I wanted to ask y'all to vote for yourself by giving yourself an edge with a good, professional, proven system. It's a fraction of what it used to be. It used to be what $975 was retail for quite some time, and now it's only $695. So it's almost $300 off what we used to sell it for. So it's even less expensive. We had raised the price incrementally because we added all these bonuses for a couple of years up to $14.95, but now it's all the way down to a bargain price. So if you get no other system this year, you have my word, this is absolutely worth getting if you haven't yet got it. And just $695, and a big bonus is lots of alerts with me and training every week for a couple of months, but also every other month for a year and a half. You get me at your disposal to ask questions as well. So that's into 2018, right? So all of next year and into, what does that make it? May of 2018, you get webinars, every 8 weeks with me. So that's all included. And we do take, by the way, too, once you order, what I want you to do now then is, let me be real clear on this. I want you to click on the Order Now button, okay? The way to order this, and we do take PayPal, so you can choose to use either Visa or your MasterCard or Amex or Discover. Personally, I like PayPal, but anyway, what I want you to do is click the Add to Cart button and at least bookmark the page. What I would encourage you to do is go ahead and click the Checkout button, but you can at least bookmark the page, and you can use PayPal to check out as well as Visa or MasterCard, and the offer is good for a week only, for a week through Sunday, a week from Sunday. So November 20th, it will be, I run Trade Mastery and Day Trading University. The billing from this credit card will read Trade Mastery. So look for that on your credit card once you order it. Give me 24 hours to get your login and password set up for you. You'll get 2 logins. One is for all the downloadable videos, right? And then the other is for all the support resources, like the previous 2 quick start videos, plus all the PDFs and downloadable MP3s. Steve and I did a couple of teleseminars, and you get those plus PDFs to accompany resource guides of the charts and everything, so you can follow along as you watch the videos. So you get PDFs as well as all the videos in the downloadable area. And it's a real bargain. We sold hundreds of systems at $975 and up to $12.95 and $14.95. You guys won't pay that because you're getting the download version, and it's a stone cold bargain at just $6.95. So you get 17 hours of this plus many more hours of additional support training. So with that, let's go ahead and call it a wrap. I wanted to thank you, Steve Nison, for working with me for all these 15 years now. It seems like forever, but it's
right.
How time flies.
Great working with you, Ken. Great working with you, Ken.
Yeah, you know your stuff. So thanks so much, and thanks to all of our traders watching this, either tonight live or on the YouTube replay. Remember, we will have this later tonight. I'll have a replay video at the top of this website for you, and you'll also get a download link via GoToWebinar. I'll send you an email follow-up with the downloadable video link as well. Order your Stock Trading Success system. Steve and I would really like to see you as one of our members. So thanks for being here, and thank you, Steve Nison, so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to work together.
Same here, Ken. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, folks. We will see you on the other side. Take care and order your system right now. Goodbye.